You guys make sure to watch this video all the way to the end, because there's a little something special. There's a little something extra. What's up, YouTube? We are back out here with big old Blue, or whatever his name's gonna be, or she. Not gonna be that guy. We've got a new starter here in a box. It's going on. I know a lot of you guys thought we needed more power, thought the battery was bad. This battery, you can tell just by the label, it is a fairly new battery. The starter was smoking where it connects from there's a bracket that goes, I'll show you on the other starter if you can see it. Right here on the side of the starter, all this was smoking and burning. So we have got a short right there on the starter, which is on the back side back here that you can't see right now. It was melting the outside of the coating or whatever that is, and it was pretty bad. So it was causing, you know, sporadic rotation and etc., etc. Also, for you guys who see me spraying ether in it every 10 seconds, there was like 20 to 30 minutes in between each time we tried to start the tractor. We just stand here and talk and wait for the starter to cool down, because we were hoping that one time it was just going to work, and it just wasn't doing it. So today we will try and start the tractor without ether, and if that doesn't work, we'll give it just a little whiff, but not much. We do have some leaking in the fuel system. I really don't know what's wrong with this tractor. Nobody really does. There's just a couple of opinions. It broke down, they drug it out here. It's possible that the guy that was running it just didn't even want to finish working. Like, that's a possibility. So yeah, let's get this thing changed and see what we can do. I've already got the negative cable off of the battery. I'm going to pull this cable off of the starter so we can get it free, hopefully. A little disclaimer, we just met with the owner of the tractor. Waylon has already purchased it. So, you know, it is what it is from now on. He owns it, which is cool. I think it's going to be neat, and I think he did all right buying it. So even if he has to put some money into it, it's going to be a big, cool old tractor. We've been seeing it for years. He's been seeing it longer than I have. He's always kind of wanted it. Now he's got it. Even if it turns into a paperweight. Boy, there's a bunch of stuff connected to this side. Two of these bolts ain't too bad. The one in the very back has got like a bird's nest of junk built over it. And I gotta dig it out. It's all greasy, and it's gonna be under my fingernails, and I'm gonna cry like a baby. No, it's okay. Ugh. I am gonna get poked. There's like cedar limb junk in it. But as far as the comments and all that kind of stuff, I enjoy all of it. So if it's a bad comment, good comment, complaints, opinions, come with it. I appreciate it, man. It's good stuff. I do try and get back to everybody on the comments. That old back bolt was a booger, but here's the last one. Should come right out. Yep. And right here is where it was melting and smoking. Got a bad connection right there. New starter going in, it hits a little different than the other one. This setup right here on solenoid is different. Lose it. Yep, that's what I just did. I dropped it. All right, I had to pull it back out to get the bolt that I dropped behind it. But the little trick that I figured, since I had it back out, I just set the bolt in it. And as I set it in, the bolt's sitting in there and goes in place. I can turn this ratchet around forward and we'll be good to go. I'm hoping this video is going to be a shorter one, don't you?
Yeah.
We was out here all day on that last one.
Well, we tried.
Yeah. Battery going back on. We ain't got no sparks. Must be good.
Say the battery's dead around.
Yeah, right. The starter's on. All the wires except for one is on. This one has like 4 or 5 posts on it. I guess 5 posts. And where the other one had 3. So I'm hoping I got it figured out. We'll do a little bit of arcing and testing and see what we come up with. All right, try again. All right.
Ether?
Well, we don't have any smoke. Yeah, I'd say we should because, I mean, there's so much fuel leaking. Yeah, I mean, it's not just pouring out, but it's all wet and consistently wet. I'd say it probably loses its prime, so give her a little bump of the ether.
Here we go.
All right, we're gonna hit it with just a little whiff of ether. I'm gonna do it while he's cranking it. I don't mess with ether very much, so somebody suggested just spraying it while he's cranking it, so that's what I'm gonna do. Go ahead and spin her over. Let's crank it one more time. Time to get some smoke up top.
Shooting sparks.
What is?
I can hear it over here.
Oh.
Something happened.
I'm sure the old starter's probably warming up a little bit. All right, so we had a hot negative cable. It's cooled down now. And just the time it took me to fix that, it was loose in here. And maybe for me taking it off, I don't know, but I twisted the wires up where I could clamp it down tight. So we've got a good connection there. Hopefully these are good solid connections. It may need a set of cables, but whenever I took that off, those looked really good. They've sat here for 2 weeks or so, and they've discolored a little bit, but they looked really nice before, so hopefully we're going to be able to get her to spin. I'm going to go ahead and spray this before so I don't have to listen to bullshit.
Spray it to it. You ready?
Yeah, go ahead and start it. We're getting close. It may be building fuel pressure. It's getting closer to starting. And it sounds better this time. Running. Ease a little bit of throttle to it and see what happens. Yeah. You just won't listen to me. You just won't listen to me. You guys are a little dirty. A little better? throttle. Now kill it. I mean, it surely idles better. It sure idles better than it did the other day. But it still doesn't sound great.
Well, it don't.
Turbo still feels all right. I should probably put that boot back on it. Just real quick, just try and start it now without the ether. That does sound rough. Got some blow by for sure. Kill it. I think we just needed the ether to get it to
I do too.
to get it to, you know, build a little bit of fuel pressure. We'll never know what really happened. But I mean, it starts, but it continues to knock. And now it's willing to start without ether. But I do think that the fuel system loses pressure over here over time. And I believe, I may be wrong, but I think that's the primer. Because that right there is not a primer. For anybody who thinks it is, that's your oil.
Now, but
See if she'll start one more time. There's not a lot of coolant in it, so.
yeah, that's a pretty good knock.
That is a pretty good knock.
Well, it didn't sound that bad to me the other day with it running.
But it was idling at like nothing though. Today she's got a pretty good rattle. Well, we'd like to let it run a little bit longer, but we can't because we've got a hole in a coolant line right here. I don't know if there's any in the engine or there's any below that, but that's gonna have to be replaced. Then we can fire it up and try and let it run a little bit. Now that we've let it run some, you guys want to look at the oil? That's not, I don't know how well it'll focus on that, but there's no water in that. So, you know, if there was water in the oil, I'd be concerned that the coolant was leaking into it or as a head gasket, but it is not. But it's neat, she runs. Well, if we're gonna start this and run it anymore, we're gonna have to fix the radiator hose right here for sure. So what we're gonna do is take my flathead pocket knife right here. Got that loose, and we're gonna pull that end and take it and get us a piece of hose that'll fix it. That'll be one of them next time kind of deals. Yuck. Hopefully I can get it out of there. It's an awful tight spot. Oh, it's gonna make me sick if there ain't any coolant in there. You know it makes me sick. Oh yeah, there's some. That'll be good for dogs and stuff like that. Wasn't much. A little bit drained down on the ground.
Oh, that's fine.
But, yep. That'll be our next mission. I guess until next time, I've appreciated everybody's comments and all your opinions and your help, everything. So keep it up. We'll get back to this old tractor here pretty shortly. We're gonna have to get us some parts, and then we can start up and let it idle and possibly get it from here down over the hill to that shop you can see way off out in the distance. If we can get it from here to there, it can get a rebuild. All right, well, I guess that's all we can do, you know, since we don't have that hose or whatever. So, you know, thanks for watching, and God bless. But wait, there's more. We just went and we got us a piece of hose. We're gonna try and fix this right now. Pull this back out of here. We got us 4 jugs of concentrate. So that should be 8 jugs basically of coolant. So we're gonna do, you know, 1 and 1. And then we're gonna try and start this up and rev it up and see if it'll clean out. It probably won't, and I say rev it up moderately. Nothing crazy. We're not trying to shoot a rod out to the side of the block, but we're gonna fire it up and see what happens. We started unloading the coolant. Boop, there it is. And realized we didn't have the hose that we just literally went and got parts for. So anyways, we ran down to the shop building down there at Louis'. So Waylon's headed back to Louis' to get the 2 rubber pieces that I cut to fix it. And yeah, then we're gonna fix it. We're gonna start up, we're gonna see what it'll do. Because there's a chance it could clean out. We're both of the assumption that something is, you know, something's wrong. But it may not have built, you know, completely built fuel pressure. It really should have at that point. But if there's like air in one of the lines or something, with it dripping like that, it's going to lose fuel pressure. That's why it needed the little added good in there to make it fire up. But then once it was going, it didn't have a problem starting back up. I'm glad we got the starter issue fixed. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just wandering around this tractor. This thing's cool. Either way, he's Waylon has purchased the tractor, so he owns it, you know, good, bad, ugly, whatever. And they're already planning on, if we get it running, we can get it down to the shop down there, then they'll pull it apart and rebuild it if that's what needs to happen. Well, I do wish I had a wire brush to clean this thing off. So she gets good and hot, it may leak a little bit. I don't know, maybe it'll seal. Hopefully it will. But it's time to shove it back together. If it'll fit. You too good for your home? Or your hole or whatever? It's almost like it didn't belong here to begin with. But I know it does. Surely I don't have it backwards. I don't even think backwards is an option. But it turns out I think backwards might be an option. It really looked like it would go the other direction. This is going to be a lot easier now. Or a little easier. All we need is a little easier. We should have grabbed a real screwdriver too. Yeah. My old pocket knife will get it done though. I've been telling little boys for years, man's got a knife. Little boys, just fellers I've worked with. Screwdriver would be so much better.
Want me to go get one real quick?
Nah. I'm sending it. Hopefully my knife doesn't get any shorter. It works pretty good as a pocket knife. Which I was trying to use it as a pocket knife when I broke it. I'm gonna put these in different places because I'm cool like that. Let's see if we can put some coolant in it. I'm sure somebody will tell me that this isn't the coolant hole. That'll be all right. A little bit for my homies. A little more for my homies. Everybody always tries to put the handle up. A good buddy of mine taught me this trick. He always does the oil change, never spills a drop. I mean, I'm spilling drops, but I don't have the glug. Old Bert, he knows how to pour the oil. I noticed the steering setup on this is the same as they got on the 50-30 that you used to have.
Yeah.
I like that. I don't like how the Kubota likes to put the cylinder out in the front. I like how they put it behind the axle here on the Fords. Starting to change tone a little bit. We're getting gas. Hopefully it'll get up there. Yeah, it sounds like it's filling. Waylon's gone to get more antifreeze because we're at 7 gallons. We decided just to get it started and moved. We're gonna have to tear the engine apart anyways. Go ahead and just dump 1 more gallon of water in it. It is like 75 degrees out here today. We're still not full at 7 gallons, so that's really not good. I don't see anything leaking out of it. And of course the oil didn't show any signs of water, so I don't know. I just don't. But it did have a hole in that hose down there at the bottom of the water jacket, basically. It looks like, yeah, well, middle of the water jacket. But this radiator is massive. It looks like it could hold, I'm going to say 4 or 5 by itself. And I may be wrong because it's got just little tubes and stuff running through it with fins, but the size of it really looks like it could hold a lot of fluid. Okay, we put 12 gallons of coolant in the big blue monster, and we're going to find out if she'll start, if she'll clean up or not, and either way it's got coolant in it now, so if we need to get it from here to the shop, we can do that. So yeah, here we go. See what she'll do without ether.
How you want to do it without?
Yeah. Oh no. Kill it.
Should I kill it?
Yeah. There's oil coming out everywhere.
So now we know.
I have no idea where this is coming from. We don't know anything. Look at all that.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Shot oil all over the place. Oh, and it's coming. Well, it's in our oil. When I pull the dipstick out, it's just spewing out of it.
That ain't good.
Well, it could be a head gasket. Yuck. I'll just close that back up, pretend like that didn't happen. That's why it just wouldn't fill up with coolant. But what does that mean? Do you think it lost a cylinder? Yeah, that is bad news bears. It's gotta be. It's gotta be a head gasket. And it's poured in there. See, those of you who didn't stick around, you missed out. Because this sucks.
Yeah, this just turned worse.
Yeah, it did. Well, yes and yes. Bad news is all the coolant is sitting in the bottom of this right here. Good news is you own it.
Yeah, I'm happy.
Yeah. Oh, that's terrible. I had no expectation of this. This is fantastic. Oh, well, you guys seen it first here. That is heartbreaking. It's worst case scenario, I guess. But it seemed like he was happy with worst case scenario if that had to happen, so. Yeah. Thanks for sticking around. Leave me a comment. Thanks for watching and God bless. Check you later.
No, now.
Oh, it's bad.
So, I wonder if you just got to pull the top part off or the whole thing off.
Yeah. You have to pull the pan to be able to get to the crank because there's going to be a piston issue if that much fluid. ran in there and ended up down on the bottom. I'd say there's a broke piston and a head gasket. Yeah, I don't know.
Is it still good that it's not seized, or at this point it don't matter?
Yeah, it's good that it's not seized. Maybe the crank is still solid. Just a rod knock.
Ron thought that noise was a turbo.
I don't know. He don't know nothing.